Atlanta. My biggest class goes out for me. My name is Tammy Rice, and I'm with the Department of Social Work. I'm going to talk to you today about what happened to me when I decided to get creative in teaching out-of-the-box thinking with my social work students. And what happened is I learned a whole lot more about myself and my teaching and what I need to do in my classroom than I did about my students. I learned a lot of things by accident, and so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, what I learned accidentally. Words, correlation, and causation will not come out of my mouth today. This is purely anecdotal. This is what happened to me during one semester. The idea came to me when I attended a conference and woman was talking about utilizing these out-of-the-box drawings with her kindergarten students and her first grade students to teach them out-of-the-box thinking. And I thought to myself, well, if it works with first graders, surely it could work with college students. So I set out to think about how I could introduce this subject matter in my class. So you know, the setting is a 4201 social work class. This is the first semester of their senior year. This is the first of a two-part macro series that they take. The students are seniors. I describe them as anxious seniors. They're anxious because they're first semester seniors. This is the first time they're in the field doing the practicum. This is the first time they're in the research class, and the word research makes their heart beat faster. And this is the first time that they're in the macro classes. And for some reason, they all think the macro classes are going to be scary because they're very different. We are also a very jam-packed class. This class utilizes a lot of high-impact practices. It's writing intensive. We have multiple collaborative assignments, and we have at least 2 community-based service learning activities. So there's not a lot of time. So when I started to talk to myself about I wanted to bring in something and reiterate something, I didn't know when I was going to have any time to do it. I wanted it to be something that was creative. For the sake of time, I'm not going to talk a lot about creativity, but we know that there's a place for being creative in higher learning. We know that if we can teach students to be creative, to be inventive, to be adaptive, that translates well into the work world, be it as a social worker, a biologist, a lawyer, whatever you want to be. So I wanted to creatively teach my students how to think outside the box. Again, for the sake of time, you're just going to have to believe me. That's an important skill set for social workers. It's an important skill set for anything. But in our profession, it's a competency. We really need to teach our students how to look at things, examine things, and not believe the first thing that they see. So that was my challenge. How was I going to do this, and how was I going to do this with no time? So the answer came to me in an email, one of the same emails that everybody got, linking to an article called Small Changes in Teaching the First 5 Minutes. And this was an article about making use of the first 5 minutes of class time and what you could do and how, if you use the first 5 minutes, it could sort of change the tone for the entire hour or 2 hours, or in my case, 2.5 hours that I max the students. So I thought to myself, well, I could use the first 5 minutes. And then I thought to myself, what if I use just a little bit more than the first 5? I have the advantage of being the first person that teaches in my classroom every day. So my students arrive anywhere from 30 minutes to 30 seconds before class starts. They sit down, they eat their breakfast, they plan for tests, they do their homework, various things like that. So I decided that I was going to encroach on that time, just a little bit, and the first 5 minutes. So that's what I did. They came to class, and every day in class for the entire semester, they had a box of crayons and a drawing, and simple instructions on the whiteboard. I am not an island, but I can be anything you want me to be. I am not a thumbtack, but I can be anything else you want me to be. Or in the case of today, I'm not a popsicle. So if you want to draw along, I can be anything but a popsicle. So we set out to do this. Of course, the first class period, there were 1,000 questions. Will I be graded? Will this count? Will we get extra credit? Can I get it wrong? Are you going to show anybody my drawings, etc., etc.? But once we got past the questions, they jumped in and they started coloring week after week after week, the different things that they found. And what happened is, they were learning what I wanted them to learn, as we'll discuss in just a minute. But I discovered some things that I never intended to. Some things about myself. Some of them were aha moments, the light bulb went off like So those are the things that I wanted to share with you today. I learned that there really is something to crayons and coloring. There's a lot of research that says coloring calms people down, and it really does. That 5 minutes, that 10 minutes, the 5 minutes before class and the 5 minutes at the beginning of class changed the demeanor of my classroom. They were calmer, they were quieter, they were ready to go. The coloring sort of was like we just went ahead and started class. They were ready to go. There wasn't the shuffling of the papers and the shoving through the backpacks. They were all collectively doing something, and we were ready to get started. Believe it or not, people don't show up on class just to see me. I'd like them to be on time because I'm so riveting. But they're late. This reduced, okay, again, reduced my tardiness. I had a student say to me one week I forgot to have drawings for him. And he said, I showed up and there's nothing to color. They came to class because they had something to look forward to in those first 5 minutes. They didn't think, well, if I'm late parking, it's okay. They knew there was something that was going to be waiting for them. I know that not everybody likes to color. I had one student who swore with every inch of her life, I cannot color, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I have no artistic talent. Okay. It reminded me that not everybody runs the same way. And that I have a very set way that I'm going to do this class every semester, but I have very different learners. And that I have to try to remember to make my exercises appeal to everyone, or to be useful to everyone. I learned that my doodlers doodle for a reason. I learned this because a student told me, I like having these because when I color these in class, you don't look at me funny if I'm doodling. She said, I doodle because it helps me pay attention. And it reminded me, I have people who need to doodle. I have people who need to stand up a whole lot more than I give them the opportunity to stand up in my class. I learned that some people need to have their laptops open and take notes. And so I learned to think about that and to remember that about my students. I learned that our students bring their stuff to class every day. We know this. I think Peter knows this is up here. This was one of the drawings one day, and we all went, oh. Are you having an okay day today, Peter? He told us, no, it's been a hard week, it's been a hard semester, my kids got the flu, and I got thrown up on before I came to class today. And I said, well, you get a pass then. We're not going to call anyone off today. But it reminded me, our students have stuff. Our students are working multiple jobs. They're raising children, they're taking care of families, they're homeless, they're hungry. They have stuff that they bring to us every day. And we've got to remember that stuff. We've got to remember that affects sometimes how they participate, how they feel about being in class, or if they even come to class. And sometimes they're really good at doing class. And I found, this was my favorite thing about this, is this gave me a way to engage with every single student, every single week. There are some students who come to the forefront of their class, some for good personality reasons and some for not good personality reasons. You always notice them, you always interact with them, they always ask the questions. But then there are the students that you don't necessarily always get to engage with. There are some students who, if they weren't there, you might not even notice that they weren't there. This gave me something to have a moment with every single student. Because when they were doing activities, or when I was lecturing and moving about the classroom, I could go, wow, what is that? And he would say, it's a toad from Mario Kart. I don't even know what Mario Kart is. So we got to have a moment where they taught me what Mario Kart was. I got to have a moment and say, that's really cool. What a neat drawing. It was a totally non-threatening interaction. I wasn't asking them a question. I wasn't putting them on the spot. But it gave me a moment to engage. And then we all engaged as a class because other people would say, I can't believe this Rice doesn't know who Mario Kart is. Or isn't that a cool bowling ball? It helped me to teach them. So this student made every single photo into something holiday related. This reminded me, this gave me an opportunity to tell them to just calm down. This happened because when the very first test rolled around, and I walked into class, not everybody was colored. There was a whole lot of cramming going on. And I said, you know what, you'd be better off to stop cramming and color the picture. It would calm you down. Nothing you're going to shove in your brain in the next 5 minutes is going to stick anyway. And some of them did, the first test, and then the second test, and the third test. I had fewer people cramming and a lot more people just trying to be calm, because they realized it really did help. And that was a life skill that I know social workers are going to need. Calm down. Chill out. It'll be okay. This was also an excellent exercise to teach them and remind me that I don't know everything. Most of the time I went, I would never have seen that. I would never have seen a beautiful high balloon. It gave me the opportunity to say, wow, look at how you see things differently than I did. And all of us in the classroom would go, I didn't see that either. And it was an important lesson for what we were trying to learn as social workers, that we all see things very differently. And that's okay. And there wasn't a right answer or a wrong answer. I would not have seen a cat in the number 8. This student saw a cat in everything. Every single drawing was a cat. We had a lot of fun doing it. It reminded me, it reminded my students that we could have fun in class, that we could laugh about things. And we learned about putting ourselves out there. You have to be brave to be a social worker. You have to be brave to do anything in life. You got to be brave to hold up your picture and say, I saw Arthur the aardvark, but I saw, I think it's Raphael. He's one of the ninjas. Put yourself out there. Believe in what you see. Believe in your perspective in things, and it'll be okay. This one saw a snowman in the number 8, and this one saw a wolf. But put it out there. Believe in what you see. What I learned from this is, I had an idea. Let's see how it works. Could have flopped. Nobody could have colored. I could have had 24 of them say, I'm going to color it. And then I would have been back to the drawing board. But it worked. I got a lot out of it. The students got a lot out of it. They even wrote on their evaluations how they liked it. So my message today is just give it a whirl. Give it a try, even if it's just one semester. What's the worst thing that can happen if you do? My students all knew that the photos were going to be used. I have their permission, so I'm saying thank you to them. And I'm saying thank you because they never once asked me to do this, because I'm horrible. I only see popsicles, so thank you very much. Yes.
I think this is a phenomenal idea. So, where do you get these?
Yes, I'll figure out how to get the link to you. I believe it's called firstgradeblogspot.com, but I'll send it out. And she has several, just hundreds and hundreds of them that you can use. And they're really cool. They're really a lot of fun. We'll figure out a way to get out.
Can I make a word for comments on each different group? What a fabulous icebreaker for a seminar.
It is. We've done it I use it for the field training. And with students, they're skeptical, but they like anything as long as they don't have to talk about it. As long as they don't have to share, then